Hello everyone, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 and the Soviet Union series. Before we get started with today's video, just want to address one item that came up in the comments last time, and yes, I do realize I didn't quite make that clear. So somebody mentioned, yeah, I probably shouldn't be using Andrei Vlasov, because if you know who he was, he ended up being captured, I think, during the siege of Leningrad and defected to Germany. And was fighting against the Soviet Union. So why am I using this general? Why am I training him? Well, you see, I have an advantage. So I know what's going to happen. None of the other players, I mean, it's computer players, but none of the other players obviously does know what's going to happen. So they react to developing to the developments, whereas I know exactly what's going to happen. I know which of my generals is going to get purged. I know which of my field marshals is going to get purged. I know which of my advisors is going to get purged. I know when, roughly, Germany is going to attack. So I know that they're going to be breaking Molotov-Ribbentrop. So why am I then not playing to the strength of it? Well, you see, it's sort of an unfair advantage, and you end up not telling a compelling story, but just a story of how you can optimally beat the game, which is a good story all in itself, or a story in an alternate universe where Stalin had magic clairvoyance powers and knew exactly what was going to happen. Whereas what I'm trying here to do, at least to some degree, because I don't want to do it 100%, but what I'm trying to do here is, to play along a little bit of the historic developments. And as such, obviously, I will be handicapping myself to a degree. So we have in the European theater, we've got these big armies, and I'm actually going to have to start assigning some generals to this and a field marshal. And yes, I know that these guys are going to get purged eventually, but that my generals don't know that. Stalin doesn't know that. So that's kind of why I'm doing this. And I hope that it makes for a more interesting story. And yes, I am making the game harder for myself that way. But that's sort of the point. I'm not here to show you an easy win. I'm not here to, I'm by no means an expert player, but I'm not trying to show off how well I can play. What I want to do is show you some interesting videos and an engaging storyline. And I always find that the threat in a storyline, if there's no threat of defeat, if you're too powerful, if your main character is too overpowered, then there's no real interest, there's no real tension, there's no real interest in the story, there's no engagement. So creating situations potentially somewhat artificially that are threatening, and again, I'm playing against a buffed Germany. So if you haven't seen the first episode, I've actually improved the German player quite a bit. So they are somewhat more dangerous than they are normally. And I have never tried this. And this might go horribly wrong, and we might lose Moscow. So I don't know. But we will find out. And I like to have a bit of a challenge, and I think it makes for a more entertaining video. And that's why I'm doing this. And that's also, for example, why I still have troops over at Manchukuo, because Japan was a threat. And there were skirmishes between the Japanese, the Mongolians, and the Soviet troops. So, yeah, I'm not following it to the letter, but I do want to do this to make it a little bit more interesting. Anyway, let's get back to the show, shall we? Actually, I haven't been recording in a while, so I do need to check where we were at. So currently, Andrei Andreyevich Vlasov is commanding 2 mountain divisions in Ethiopia. Now, there's no chance that we're actually going to help the Ethiopians win this one, not with two divisions, but we can, get some army experience out of the effort, and my divisions can get big experience, and yes, Vlasov himself will get some experience as well. But before we continue with that, I am actually going to have to start organizing my armies in the European theater a little bit, because we've got some more mountain divisions here, who we can, and I think we probably have, and I'm not super familiar with all the Soviet generals. I haven't looked at every single one in detail. But We have another winter specialist here who is also a brilliant strategist, although that's not necessarily beneficial only for mountain divisions. I am more looking... he's a cavalry leader. That's not going to help us either. Yeah, I mean, I might as well get him to command them for now. And like I did mention, the benefit here is that you already have a terrain trait, which means with mountain divisions it's probably relatively easy to get a mountaineer, which then gets us the adaptable trait in combination, which is a good thing. But I'm not yet gonna upgrade anybody, because I have plans for that command power that I'm accumulating here, and for that political power as well. Anyway, what else do we need to do? So we've got a bunch of cavalry divisions. Honestly, my cavalry divisions are not great. They're 8 with cavalry. Not really planning to do an awful lot with them, but we can assign them to someone for starters. So that's 21 cavalry divisions. So let's get them out into a new group. And we did have somebody, I believe, who was a cavalry leader. And we may as well assign that to him. Yes, Timoshenko. He is a cavalry officer. So we'll give him that. Okay. I do have a whole bunch of the NKVD divisions, 16 all in all. So these guys these divisions are, I think, these are more like the. Currently, they're just military police, but we're going to be using them sort of as blocking divisions. And yes, I could just change them all, but where's the fun in that? So we'll give them. We definitely have to give them someone who is politically connected. Let's see what we can find here. He's an armor officer, so probably not. He's a career officer. He's probably not him. I mean, I could look up if there was anybody who was actually in charge of these things, but again, like I said, that's not the level of detail that I necessarily need to go into. Here's a career officer, Reckless. He's a war hero. Primakov, another cavalry leader that we got there. Gregory Kulik. Yep, he's an old guard. He's politically connected. He's a career officer. He can take care of the NKVD divisions. And yes, I'm going to start renaming these armies at some point. I'm just going to have to sort through them. Do we have anything else? Yes, we still have one motorized division. And the rest is just infantry. So we can just... can I easily... I can select half, but that's too many. So basically we want... Okay, well, we'll just do 30-30 for now. And that's one army. That leaves me with 30 in the other. And then we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of this. It goes into there. And then we get another 6 out of that. And that goes into... Nope, that does not go into there. It goes into there. There we go. So field marshal wise, we can still fit one more in here. And then we've got... no, hang on. You need to be under this... No, these are the NKVDs. They are going to be not under that field marshal, but these can go in there. And then we are full. So these guys can have their own army group. And then be together sort of with the NKVD in here, which means we can also assign some field marshals. So Army Group West is going to get Tukachevsky, and this is going to be okay. We're gonna have to start enumerating them. So this is going to be Army Group West 1, and then that is going to be Army Group West 2. We are going to reorganize the army as eventually. So Yegorov can take that, and we need a couple of generals. So we're just gonna look for. He's an armor officer. Do we have some infantry officers? Yep, he can be in charge, and we need another infantry officer here. Meretskov. Yeah, is it? Yeah. So he can be in charge. That's fine. And we've got here, we can put, who it was? Berzarin, yeah, he can be in charge. Okay, so we've got all the troops assigned. They're currently just, standing around more or less in the countryside, but that's fine, right? For now, I don't really need them to do anything. I can just leave them pretty much where they are. We're not facing any threat per se. So right now they're just kind of standing there. Anyway, we are still in 1936, and the Ethiopian theater is where Vlasov and Field Marshal Voroshilov are busy and are doing this. So the next things we need to do. Yes, we have political paranoia problems. We are at 18%. And once we reach 25, Stalin might start shooting people, which we are trying to avoid in general, because people are sort of useful. We are currently expanding the propaganda measures. So let me check where we are in my little list here. Yes, so we do need to... we do have an option here to forge satisfactory production reports, which is going to reduce it by 20. So we can still wait for a week, and then we can use that to do that. Yes, we can modify the government. That's not something we're planning on doing right now. Construction-wise, we're still good. We are just building. Big problem here is the consumer goods, because we are on civilian economy. This is something we're going to be changing very soon, and that's where the political power and everything else comes in. Because we could get to partial mobilization, which would be good, because that would bring us down from 35 to 25% consumer goods, but we can do better. We can go down to 20. The problem is we need 50% war support, and we only have 46. But there is a way of making more war support, and we are going to start improving our relations with Spain. While Spain is, democratic, this is just a country that there's very little in terms of communism, but there are rumors that we've heard that Spain is having stability issues, and that there might be a fascist uprising, in which case we will probably try and help the Spanish out. So let's make sure that the Spanish are actually in favor of us. So we're going to start improving our relations with them for a little bit, and then we are. And then we're just going to keep an eye on Stalin's paranoia, and we'll try to maintain the borders here. In terms of equipment, we do have a bunch of light tanks, but I believe mostly we've got T-26s sitting around, but these are slow tanks. So right now we're not really doing an awful lot with that. Do we already have the BA-7A, the modifier? Yes, we already have the improved light tank, and we have the improved small airframe. So we are now building fighters that are actually having guns. Yes, we are lacking rubber. No, I'm not going to do an awful lot about it just right now, because it's not a huge problem. I think if we look at it, it's a 20%. It is a 20% drop, so that is not insignificant. But we're not trading anything right now. We need all our factories to build up our economy, which is still very, very much bad. So I'm going to drop the speed down a little bit, just because I need to keep an eye on the paranoia and make sure that it doesn't go over 25%. And we'll see what's going on in Ethiopia here. For now, I think they are... where are the Ethiopians weak? This is a decent position to hold them in the north. And it looks like they might be... I just want to prevent them from breaking through to Addis Ababa. That's really my concern here. And there wasn't an awful lot of supply up further north either. So, okay, they have broken through there in the east. But they've got a decent amount of troops there, so they should hopefully be able to hold that. We'll see how that goes. We are still at 18%. Okay, that theater is not that important. Let's keep an eye on Spain as well. We do need to make sure that they are at least somewhat in favor of us, but we also don't want to waste our political power by improving our relations with the Spanish. And there they come, but they have to attack into mountains across a river. And yeah, that's not going to go too well. Not sure why this bug is here, because we do have Voroshilov as the field marshal, but for some reason his I don't know, maybe that doesn't work for expeditionary forces, no idea, but for some reason his face doesn't show up, so and that's all good. Okay, we are at 20%, so we can now forge satisfactory. 22, yep, let's drop that down back to 2. And that, unfortunately, has a bit of a side effect. So this means we are having another 2% of consumer goods on the factory. So we're now at 36 factories out of our 49 factories going away, which I am not particularly happy about, but there's not an awful lot we can do about that. I think we should have, we'll let it run for a little bit longer, but then we'll stop improving the relations with the Spanish. And make sure that, because the next, this is, where is it? I don't think this is actually going to drop the, yeah, this isn't going to drop the paranoia. So this is going to give us propaganda measures, which are going to be really important later on. Well, actually not that later on. So while that's going on, let's keep an eye on the Spanish, and I think that's sufficient. So stop improving relations. So rumors, okay, NKVD has been created. That is important. We do need to make sure that we are that we're having some agents, and we need to start getting the enemies of communism are many. So we need to start making sure that we're keeping an eye on them. All right, speed it up a little bit and see if we can get any. Do we need to defend here? I think they are. Okay, Vlasov has been wounded. That is unfortunate, but well, it is what it is. And our paranoia should be okay once we're done with it. We're almost done with this. So once that's happened, there we go. So we can now. We now have decisions available. As you can see, we can put up propaganda posters across the country. And the first thing we're going to do, remember that from forging the documents and pacifying Stalin that way, we have lost a couple more factories. However, we can put some propaganda that will get everybody motivated to work harder, which drops our consumer goods by 5%. So that's that's the first thing we're going to do. So the poster goes up. We can unlock a couple more of these slots here for more posters, and then we've got these decisions. But they do get more expensive as you use them. But for now, for 6 months, we've got 5% extra consumer goods factories, which means we're now down to 32. So we've got we actually net 3 factories extra out of this decision that we can use for construction. And we are now, have a look, we are now going to go to the center. This is, well, the decision basically to make sure, so we have decided, well, the Politburo has decided that while Stalin is a bit crazy and trigger happy, he's also a symbol, and we need one. And he's been working with Lenin, so he should be fine. This gives us additional communism. It gives us 5% stability, which is much appreciated, and it decreases the political paranoia by 10 when it's finished. And it's a 35%, 35 days. So we're going to do that one. And once that's done, we get a drop of 10% of paranoia, so that should hold us nicely in place. And off we go again. So there's not an awful lot happening down here right now. I'm just checking if I need to move my troops or if I can leave them sitting at. I want to try and prevent them from taking Addis Ababa, but that flank looks these troops look extremely weak on the right. They're currently not attacking here, so I might actually send my division over here and just assist with holding that airport over there. Okay, now they're attacking. Oh well then, if you want to, then we'll stay here and help defend. Or maybe this is a pinning attack. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. They are definitely assaulting us here, but these guys might be able to hold. They probably started attacking because I left entrenchment. So my troops are now weaker. Okay, construction 1's done. We are immediately going to go for construction 2. Yes, it's ahead of time. It's not a huge problem, however. We're half a year ahead of time, so it's a little longer than it normally is, but I do want to rush down the construction tree as much as I can. So that's done. Just double checking. Yeah, we've still got we're still building factories, which is not particularly fast, but with construction it is now 10% faster. So that means they've got 2 divisions here, although the Spanish are force attacking, so I might try to help out over here. The Italians are force attacking, so I'm gonna head over here and see if I can help out on this front. Yep, that gets us into port, and they're now attacking here as well, which is good. So yeah, we'll hold there for now, and nothing else much is happening on the European front. So here we're just holding. We're generating some experience for our armed forces, and we're slowly reducing our infantry weapon deficit. We're still, in fact, have I marked? Yeah, these guys need to be marked as elite, such that they get the equipment first, because otherwise the reinforcements will be equally distributed, and these are under strength divisions. So I do want to make sure that they get that first. Okay, so we're now holding here. Okay, nationalist Spain has declared war on Spain. The Spanish Civil War has kicked off. Oh dear. So that makes the Ethiopian volunteer force suddenly a very secondary consideration, because now, with some assistance from these guys and those guys, which we're already fighting in Africa, the Spanish Civil War has broken out. So that bit is nationalist Spain. So these guys are this is General. Well, these are eventually under General Franco. This is not General Franco, but they have created an uprising, and this is the not fascist Spain. There is a decent amount of communist ideology in the not fascist Spain. So, given that we already did some improvement. Oh no. Oh, okay. I made a mistake here. I thought that improving the relation would carry over, but I improved the relations with the wrong people. I didn't want to, because I did not want to do it with those. Okay, dang it. My bad. Yeah, we'll do that again. Slight misplay here, but that's fine. We can, however, already start sending them volunteers. And as you may have it, we can send 6 divisions. So in the European theater here, we have, where is he? There he is. Zhukov, who is currently commanding 5 armored divisions. So we are going to give him another one. We're going to give him an additional mountain division, and he can, because Spain is quite mountainous. And then the other thing that we need to do, where are my planes? There they are. The other thing I need to do is I can send two air wings over to Spain as well. So we are going to send some volunteers into the Spanish Civil War. I'm on the right side this time. And we're going to include air groups. We can send 2 air wings, because that's all the capacity that they have there. And we can send 6 divisions. So we are going to send Zhukov and his tank divisions over to Spain. So off he goes. And yes, we do need to improve relations. They allow the volunteers to come. So we need to keep an eye on when we can try and send an attaché, because we have enough command power to make that happen, which is why I've saved that up. Because there is something that the attaché will give us. They're still not accepting. We still need to improve our relations a little bit more. I think it's about 20 or so that we need. And then we can send an attaché. Still not. The war is obviously going on, but okay, 22 should be enough, yes. So we can send the attaché, which has an immediate effect. Keep an eye on this number here, 47%. We need that to be above 50. Oh, and we can recruit a spy. I think we're going to get ourselves the German spy. I'm thinking. I'm not trusting this guy. He's British, but he's a double agent, and I mean, I don't really need his skills, well groomed, but it's good to have a German nationality spy, so I can send him to Germany later to make sure that we know what the Germans are up to. So we're going to get him. And in fact, yeah, we're not going to do anything with him just now because I don't want to lose him, because if he gets captured, then I don't have a second one to rescue him. So let's not waste that. But we can already send our air wings over. And we are going to send these two air wings, a tactical bomber wing and a fighter wing. And we are going to send those... Actually, are we not holding Madrid? Oh, no, we are holding Madrid. Yeah, I was about to say, we should be holding Madrid. So let's send these air wings over. Now, obviously, the Soviet Air Force has many problems. One of them being that they're not very good at flying. They tend to crash, specifically if it's dark or if it's raining. So that's why we have a little bit of a stash here. And while we are going to replenish the fighters, I'm not currently building the tactical bombers, so we'll just draw them from the. We're just going to draw them from the warehouses to compensate for the losses that we're going to be taking, even without enemy involvement. But we are going to send these guys over to Madrid. And then they can make themselves useful. So let's send them over. And the offer of the attaché was accepted. This has a ramification, because sending an attaché has given us 10% war support, which means we are now having enough war support. And I just need 10 more political power. We have enough war support. So twofold, right? First of all, the attaché gives us additional income. And I'm not sure if we can see it yet. Yes. So we get 15% of the military experience on naval and air. But there's not going to be awful lot happening in the air. But we do get some army experience, which is very much needed. And we can switch directly to war economy. So we have convinced our population sufficiently that war is on the horizon, and it is actually happening in Europe, that they will accept the production or the goods produced in the factory not to go to them, but to go to us. And that is what we need to construct things, because right now we're on 32 factories that we can't have. So we only have 24 that we can actually build something with, which we can reduce. Anyhow, let's wait for our planes to show up. It's still going to take 2 weeks for our volunteer divisions. Actually, we can. Oh, they don't have a theater yet. That's why. Okay, are the planes there already? Not yet. I think they are on the move. Are they on the move? Did I? Why are you not moving? Okay, something's weird again. I should be able to move them over here. Okay, let's try to send them to Valencia instead. No, I can't. Maybe I can't do that until my troops arrive. That might be possible. So we'll just ignore that and wait for the troops to show up. Okay, so that means we now have two theaters to manage. We have got the Ethiopian theater, and we have the Spanish theater. But hopefully we're kind of trying to hold Addis Ababa and just keep an eye on what the Italians are doing down here. You really don't want to leave that undefended, honestly, people. So that if they break through here, that gets pretty nasty. This is a very good defensive position of these two provinces, actually. So anyhow, not currently. Well, we'll keep an eye on it until the volunteers are arriving. But yeah, there's no way I'm making my way over there in time, especially not that we're actually under attack. So I think, yeah, we'll just let this run as long as it goes. Okay, so the center's done. That means we now have, actually, yes, we now have dropped back down to 4% political paranoia, which is good. We can run inspections, which will lead to, basically, we look at either the civilian administration, the army, the navy, or the air force, and find somebody who we can accuse of plotting Stalin's demise. And then we can have them shot. and that reduces his overall paranoia, because shooting people that he thinks are after him is making Stalin comfortable. But I don't want to do that, especially not for the army or the air force, because I kind of need these people. And so navy is always an option that we can take if we are running too high on paranoia. But right now we've dropped it down, so I do have to look again on check my list what I need to do next. And we do need to do the Stalin Constitution, yes. So this gives us 5% stability, which is great. Our stability keeps ticking up, which improves our factory output as it goes, and reduces our consumer good factories as well. And our primary goal is to get down here and kill everybody who's still affiliated, or we can accuse of being affiliated with Trotsky, and then Trotsky himself eventually, and then Stalin is finally going to believe us that nobody is after him anymore. So this is unfortunately a 70-day focus, and it will reduce the paranoia by 10%. But we can't forge anything anymore, so we're gonna have to see if we need to do something. Anyhow, my troops are still underway, but we can now drop directly into war economy, and that means we suddenly only have 18 factories that are used for consumer goods, which means we now suddenly have additional factories to build more factories, because building up our industry is paramount. Can we build any factories anywhere? Do we have decent? I'm looking for the high infrastructure first, but if I don't have any, then I'm gonna use the lower infrastructure areas and just build a couple. Let's build a couple back there. We will eventually build up our infrastructure, but it's right now I just want to factory as much as we can. So that's that. What else do I need to do? I think one thing I would like to do. How's our artillery situation? We've got 449 artillery pieces by now. Let's have a quick look at our tank division. Yes, we can give these guys support artillery, which gives them a significant boost to their soft attack. And we don't have any more, but that's something we can do. So that should need, we only need 60 artillery pieces. So let's do that. Should have probably done that a little earlier, but I don't think I had the army experience just yet to make that happen. Anyway, they will be delivered a little later, but we'll get there eventually. So, how's Ethiopia looking? Nothing's changed over here. And we are now involved in the Spanish Civil War, which I think is once these divisions are arriving, they're currently nowhere to be found because they're on the way, but once they're arriving, one thing you need to know about the Spanish Civil War is the unplanned offensive mechanic. So basically the idea is that you cannot fight until everybody is kind of ready and has stashed some equipment and some supplies. If you go out without supplies, it's getting really hard. And so this is a separate system. You can see this here. These the provinces that have this little symbol. Look at the look at the malices on that. You get minus 75% division speed. You get minus 90% division attack. The defense is not affected, so you effectively can't push. Now I can't do anything about this. Spain can, but the initial plan. So let's have a quick look at the terrain here. We are sending a fair amount of tanks. So let's have a look at the terrain. Obviously, if we are talking a mountainous terrain, like here, tanks are not great. But if we are talking about, say, hills, then or especially plains, then tanks are really shining. So anywhere we can break out that has plains is a good place to go. So the first thing we're going to try and do once they have arrived is to push between these two river lines and cut the nationalists into two, because they are, I'm not sure where their supply capital is right now. Let's have a look. Does it tell me? And that's ours. That's Madrid. I am not certain where it is, but either way, one of the halves of the of their troop is going to be cut off, and except for local supplies. So we'll cut them off, and then the idea is to sweep south, to take on this part here, and clear this up, and then try to sweep north afterwards. And obviously, if we can't attack, it's difficult. So we have to find find positions where we can, which is a little tedious because you kind of have to manually. It's the game's not telling you. You kind of have to, if you're not Spain. If you're Spain, then I think you do know. But if you're not Spain, then you kind of have to click around here. And right now there's nowhere. So all the attacks are nothing's planned. Everything is in chaos. So nothing's really happening. But yeah, so that's the plan. Break them, cut them into half, wipe out the southern half, then push north. And yes, I am aware that eventually there will be more fractions in Spain. But winning, the nationalists are supposed to win. So we'll do what we can. But if we can't get them to, if we can't get the regular Spain to win, then it's not an awful lot that we can do about it. And it's not the end of the world, at least to be historically accurate. Anyway, that's it for me today. Thanks, everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.